So let me get this right? For like, just for understanding, we're going to put our entire faith in horoscopes. So basically the alignment of the constellations in the planet, or insignificant materials such as crystals. But we refuse to put our faith in God. Oh my, I pity these guys. Oh my goodness, I pity these guys. Listen, I'm not here to tell you what to believe in. I'm really not. That's your, if you want to believe in a crystal, if you want to put your whole faith in humanity into a crystal, that's your prerogative. That's your prerogative. But I'm just confused, because then a guy like me wants to walk in faith, and it's like, there's questions, it leads to a different realm of a conversation, And so people are obliged to do whatever they want to do. That's their business. Just from me on my end, right? I just find it very interesting. I find it very interesting. This is just what I personally believe. I personally believe faith is I believe having faith is incredibly important. When I look out yonder, right? When I look out just the atmosphere and just how the world is constructed in such a fashion, and how the environment and the ecosystem just blends in and it's in such unison. It literally, I'd be a fool to think that there's not a creator of some sort. There's not a higher entity that's constructing everything. But right, hold on, here's the best part. But yet, there's individuals out there that believe in horoscopes. They die by the sword. I'm talking about, they die by the sword on a horoscope. Like, I just find that just absolutely comical, and they believe it like it's law. But if I were to pull out a Bible, though, no, I don't want that. But we're just gonna believe the horoscope, though. We're gonna believe the horoscope, though. The daily horoscope, the notification that pops on your phone. That's what we're gonna believe. But if I toss you this Bible right here, though, and tell you go over a few verses, it's like, oh, now it's an issue. Now it's a problem. But when your grandma tells you to go to Sunday service, it's an issue. You know what I'm saying? So, listen. I know throughout my journey, my faith has definitely been tested on numerous occasions, to the point where I question even my own faith. But I feel like that's a healthy journey, though. I feel like as you get older, your mental capacity expands, right? So, yeah, I believe questioning your faith. Why do you believe what you believe in? And then once you figure that out, going on that journey on forward, you continue to grow on that faith. You know what I'm saying? You develop a sense of stability and understand that, okay, when I do go through certain challenges and experience a bit of struggle, you could rely back on that faith. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to a horoscope, if you're going through some form of tragedy or struggle, it's almost like are you guys going to rely on that horoscope? Like, are you going to rely on that crystal? When things are down bad, when things go down bad, I want you to go in the comforts of your home and go rely on that crystal. You know what I'm saying? Go rely on that crystal, homie. This is real life. This is real life. You know what I'm saying? So if people want to have that, perception of me as far as like, oh, you believe in a God that you obviously don't see. Well, that's the point of faith, though. Faith is believing without evidence. That's what faith is. That's literally what faith is. That's literally what faith is. So it makes me chuckle. Here's what I always ask people when they always ask me this. Well, how can you believe a God that you don't see in? And I'm like, well, you don't see gravity, but yet you believe in it, right? You don't see air physically. You don't really see air, but you believe that you are breathing air, right? So that's to me, I just, that's not really a good argument. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe in evidence. I do think for a majority of men, they're built off of logic. They like facts. They like evidence. So I totally understand that. But faith is a completely different aspect of life. You know what I'm saying? When you have faith, the sense of confidence to understand that, like, okay, there is a higher being that I should humble myself down to, right? It brings you to a different perception of life. It really does, man. So I highly do encourage people to go on a faith journey, man. Ask God, pursue God. I only chase 3 things in life: God, a better version of myself, and my goals. That's really it. You know, so within this pursuit of God, I'm starting to understand a lot of aspects about myself. Like, hey, these are my strengths, but these are my weaknesses too. How can I make God just bridge the gap? How can I make God bridge the gap? And I'm not talking about I'm not talking about as far as works, guys. I'm not talking about stuff like, I'm talking about actually believing in something higher than yourself. That's what I'm talking about overall faith. That's what I'm talking about. In the overall construct of that. Believing something that's higher than yourself. Believing something that's constructing and orchestrating everything as far as what consists of the world, the universe, whatever case may be. You know what I'm saying? I just always find it comical, bro, when I have these sort of conversations with other individuals, and they tell me, well, they don't necessarily believe in God, but yet they're believing the notification that shows up of their horoscope. I pity these guys. Like, real life, I do. I find that so comical when I hear people believing in these horoscopes as if it's law. So wait, you're telling me you're believing in an outside entity, right? That's governing your mental responses and your behavioral moods, and you're absorbing it and believing that's law. Like, what? And then the individuals that have crystals that they feel like, that's what's gonna provide them peace and comfort. But yeah, when you tell them, hey, like, how about try praying to God? It seems like it's a completely different conversation, So I don't know, man. For me, I've always wanted to seek internal peace, and I noticed that I gathered that and I grasped that by pursuing God. That was the only way I was able to even like feel comfortable internally, pursuing God. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, like, I encourage y'all, bro, try it. Go on this journey. Ask God for guidance. You guys can ask God for that. Ask God for guidance. And then within that sense of direction, you're going to unravel so much about yourself. But when you seek other avenues, it's not going to grant you that. It's not. I'm telling you, it's not. Because when stuff goes bad, you're not going to sit there and be like, well, I mean, I guess it's supposed to happen. Or what if it's wrong? What if your horoscope doesn't really quite align to how life is going for you? Then what? It's your boy.